Hi everybody, Wes Olszewski here from Portland Lit Studios. Today we have something real special. This is never before broadcast footage of the launching of the steamer S.T. Crapo. This came from the great-granddaughter of Stanford T. Crapo, Sally Bullard. She got a hold of me and she said, I have this footage and I don't know what to do with it. And she agreed that I could put it into a show, into one of my videos here. Today, our Great Lakes time machine is going to take us way back in history to July 7th, 1927, and the launch of the S.T. Crapo. Take a look in the backgrounds and take a look at the people, take a look at the machines, take a look at the boats, and you're going to see some history that has never before been shown on video.
I didn't make any planned narration for this, nothing scripted. So I'm just going to kind of hang out here and talk to you about what we see. This is the preloading and assembly area, where folks are getting out of taxi cabs to come to the dock. You'll see right behind the steamer Wakita, which is the excursion boat that they'll be going on, is the City of Cleveland number 3. These excursion boats were commonly used in the 20s and 10s and teens. Here we see Detroit's most elite people, as well as the most elite people from around the state of Michigan. Beside officials from the Huron Cement Company, there are a lot of guests from Detroit and around the Great Lakes. For example, Mayor William McKinnon of Flint. Additionally, there was Mayor L.G. Defoe of Alpena and John S. Haggerty, Secretary of State for Michigan. Each with their wives and friends. There are several different kinds of hats. It looks like some captain's sort of hats that were given out to folks in the company. Now I cut out about 9 minutes of this folks gathered at the dock footage and just picked out the most fun parts. Take note of the heavy coats that everybody's wearing, as well as this guy walking around with the great big, Three Stooges type thing there, tablecloth. Additionally, there was Congressman Robert H. Clancy. There was Edward N. Hines, road commissioner for Wayne County, and countless other big shots. Now, if you can pick any of them out of all these faces, please let me know. Who knows? You could be related to one of them. Mayors, judges, and very high-paid businessmen. It is the Roaring '20s. And this is the chance for the Huron Cement Company to perhaps make a few customers and make a few friends in cities where they may want to ship their product. Everybody seems to be wearing heavy coats. It was early in the morning in July, and it was cool that morning. And it was going to be cool out on the water. This was pretty much an all-day cruise. They went and watched the launch, and then they left and came back to the Huron Cement plant for a tour. On board the vessel, they had a real nice catered meal. That footage, unfortunately, is almost impossible to make out, so I had to edit it out. Here's everybody aboard now, up the gangway into the Wakita. She was one of the more popular tour boats in the city of Detroit. The Wakita was chartered to carry as many as 500 persons on this particular cruise. It's said that as many as 1,000 attended the launch itself at the Great Lakes Engineering Works in Detroit. Look closely to the left in this picture, and you'll see what I think is the newly converted whaleback steamer Bay State unloading right there on the bank of the Detroit River. Up in front of us is the Huron cement boat John W. Boardman. She also carried a small crowd of passengers looking to witness the launch. The Wakita and the Boardman sailed together right up to the shipyard. And there she is, the S.T. Crapo, awaiting her launch. You can see the reviewing stand where she'll be christened right off the bow. Everybody on the Wakita was gathered to look at the new boat. Once they docked, everyone unloaded and made their way to the reviewing area for the launch. Most important people going up the stairs were the people who would actually do the launching. The S.T. Crapo was going to be christened by Miss Anita Boardman, John W. Boardman's daughter. She broke a bottle of champagne across the bow, which is interesting because this was at the height of Prohibition. Unfortunately, the smoke from the tug really obscures some of this view, but we get a good shot of it when it does do the slide. But right after she splashes in the water, I want you to take a real good look at the tug, because the tug has a line on the Crapo's bow, and it's up to the tug to keep the Crapo from slamming back to the dock. There she goes. And you'll see the tug's whistle tooting up steam and blowing signals for congratulations and joy while she leaves the dock out to do her duty to keep the Crapo from sliding back in. Here comes the Crapo back. Now look at the line that goes to the bow, and you'll see the slack come out of it. And there we go. She's got her line on the Crapo, and she's making the stop. It must have been a very exciting day for everybody. These are the shipyard workers, and once again we have the VIPs. But now we're going to see the most important person in the crowd, Miss Anita Boardman, with her flowers and plenty of press coverage. Note the hand-cranked newsreel cameras. A lot of photographers too. If you look closely, you may actually see S.T. Crapo himself. Now these three men, you'll see the one in the middle is John W. Boardman. And with that, the John W. Boardman steamed away. The guests would now return to the Wakita, and they would sail back to the Huron Cement Company's yard, where they would be given a tour of the plant. There were supposed to be thunderstorms that day, but they beat them. Now look closely, and through the smoke, you can see the tug is pulling the Crapo out of the launching slip, and she's on her way immediately to the fit-out dock, just minutes after the guests left. That's part one. In part two, we're going to go for a trip in 1927 aboard the S.T. Crapo. That'll be fun. Watch for it.